being a Buffalo Bills fan than breaking tables. Welcome to the More Than Breaking Tables podcast, a show about what really makes up the greatest fan base in the NFL. We're talking football with experts and fans from around the country. Here's your host and proud member of Bills Mafia, Connor Kobus.
Hello and welcome to another Tuesday night episode of More Than Breaking Tables. Connor Kobus here alongside my partner, as always, Pasquale Maggiore. And we have a great episode to bring you today where we are going to recap a huge win that the Bills had down in Pittsburgh, preview a big game against the Bengals. And as we kick today's episode off, Pasquale, you made the trek down to Carolina, the Bills got the win. You made the trek down to Pittsburgh, the Bills got the win. Are we sensing a kind of good luck strategy when you attend away games that the Bills get the win, and are you ready to travel for the wild card?
I appreciate those sentiments, but I can't take full credit for that. There has been talk about going to Cleveland, but I can't buy in. Not exactly the biggest fan of Cleveland, but let's take a look at the schedule maybe in a couple weeks and see where the wild card games do fall. I have never been to an away playoff game, so I'm not ruling it out at this point. We'll see where the chips fall.
Yeah, I've had one experience of a road playoff game. That was the Houston game in 2019, and that was pretty tragic ending to that game, but it's still a great trip. But you've had better luck with these road games than I have, so we'll hopefully keep it going. Heading into the Steelers game, the vibes were low. It was a game that we needed to have to stay in the playoff mix. Kind of a tale of two halves. The first half was pretty ugly. Offense wasn't really moving the ball. Josh threw a pick. James Cook fumbled. What was it like amongst other Bills fans seeing the struggles kind of continue from the Houston game to start the game off against Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I just want to talk about the pregame before we get into that, because I just want to give a shout out to Game Day Hospitality. They put on a hell of a tailgate, probably about 3-4 blocks away from Acrisure Stadium. They had this weird little, I don't even know what to call it. It's like not even alley, like an inlet, something like that. They had it all tents and things and wing nuts wings, and Nerds Gone Wild was there, and people were peeing behind trucks, and it was a good time. But I wasn't really sure, because I always see them set it up at Highmark Stadium, but I wasn't sure. I actually went and caught the tail end of their party in Charlotte. I got to give them credit. It was a good time, a lot of good vibes, a lot of fun, a lot of Bills fans down in Pittsburgh. But when you talk about, when the Bills take over a city, you're talking about 50-50 football towns like Miami, maybe the New York Jets. Help me out here, Connor. Who else do we travel pretty heavily to?
The Carolina game's a perfect example.
Carolina, fake football fans.
Yeah, areas. If we had that playoff game in Jacksonville when we broke the drought, we took over. They ran out of blue light with Bills fans. We know how to party. We know how to support our team on the road, and whether we winning out for the division, I'm still holding out a brief glimpse of hope for that. But if we have to travel for the wild card and further through the playoffs, we travel well, we can win road games.
So yeah, with Pittsburgh too, it's like Pittsburgh's a football town. So I was actually really surprised when I saw the amount of tickets that were on the secondary market. I expected it to be a little bit harder to get tickets. We had bought our tickets, I think, on Saturday morning, and there was still some leeway. We were taking a look at the Ticketmaster app on the drive down on Sunday, and prices were going down. So I was very surprised by that. We're talking about a city that has won Super Bowls. You're talking about Bill Cowher, Ben Roethlisberger, Jerome Bettis. You're talking about Terry Bradshaw. Now you got Mike Tomlin. You got Aaron Rodgers. Later years, Aaron Rodgers on the other side of the field. But, where we were sitting up on the 500s, I was not totally happy with that. I wanted to be a little bit closer to middle field or be a little bit lower. But yeah, surrounded by a lot of Steelers fans, very respectful. I went to a preseason game in Pittsburgh a couple years ago. And, sometimes you go to a preseason game and it's like amateur hour because you have people going to the games that you don't normally have going to the games. So they don't know how to behave. They don't know how to act. So we were sitting in the 500 level in the end zone, and people were chirping us pretty hard. But, again, not real fans. These are the real fans. People we sat next to, season ticket holders, had a little banter back and forth. There's some obnoxious girls behind us screaming and shouting for no apparent reason. Maybe there was something more than alcohol going on up there, but I like that stadium a lot, and I like that. I think I've spoken about this on the program before. Steelers are my backup team, my second favorite team. I was a huge fan of Roethlisberger when the Bills were totally out of it. I always like pulled for the Steelers, so I feel kind of at home at Acrisure Stadium. And the thing that's deceiving, there were a lot of Bills fans there, but you also have those yellow seats, which looks like there's a lot of Steelers fans there as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely two fan bases that travel really well. And Steelers are a team I'm very familiar with, have a lot of friends. I went to college in Pennsylvania, and talking about them as a team, we have our issues as Bills fans with wanting McDermott to get us to a Super Bowl and maximize Josh Allen's window. The Steelers are kind of going through their own drought period that we went through. They haven't won a playoff game in 8 years. And the game kind of switched very dramatically in the second half where we took control. People are booing Mike Tomlin. They're telling him to get fired, which is crazy when you think about a guy who's won 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
No, 1 Super Bowl. He lost to the Packers, beat the Cardinals. But it's been it's a what have you done for me lately business, and the Steelers haven't won a playoff game since 2017. So go ahead.
And what people will say about Tomlin's Super Bowl win is that he won the Super Bowl with Bill Cowher's roster, so they kind of take that away from him.
Exactly. No, that's a great point. And when is enough enough? But we saw how that game ended. The Bills ran the same play 29 times in that game. It was a power run to James Cook that he kept bouncing back. Pittsburgh had no answer, and they have some big names on that defense. So it got to the point where it seemed like the Bills kind of broke them. Talk to me about the first half or second half, because it seemed like 2 completely different Bills teams, and that fumble that Joey Bosa sacked Rodgers really kick-started us.
Yeah, that first half was brutal on both ends. Both teams looked like they were playing football back in the 1930s. Joe Brady and Arthur Smith with their throwback plan, whatever they were doing there. It was very hard to sit through, very hard to watch, just really absolutely nothing going on. And yeah, the Bosa play, definitely the spark, but there's a larger conversation to be had. But we complain about the officials all the time. Was that a legal hit? Probably not. He comes from behind, basically falls on top of Rodgers. He did a good job getting off him. It's not like he fell on top of him and drove his face into the ground. Rodgers had that wrist injury going on, which made it worse. Went face first into the turf there at Acrisure, which is a grass field. Apparently Pitt and high school teams played a couple days before that. You might know a little bit more about that than me. But yeah, that was the turning point of the game. Benford, couple big turnovers, and Mason Rudolph came in, and I think he was playing a different game because he was out of sorts. And that comes down to, we talk about McDermott's critics. The Bills didn't look prepared. They didn't do this right. They didn't do that right. What the hell was Mason Rudolph doing coming in and just floating the ball up there, acting like nothing's going to happen? That was bad.
Yeah, my only reason for that, I mean, he came into the game as the backup. Maybe he wasn't mentally preparing throughout the week of getting in the game in case of an injury. But yeah, when he came in and threw that pass, terrible throw, Benford picked it off, and you could sense the momentum kind of building for this Bills defense, which did have a good game, albeit against kind of pedestrian Pittsburgh offense. But now we talk about a big game this week against a great offense. Forget their record, 4-8, because no one cares. They're 3-1 when Joe Burrow plays with that team this year. They just put up 30 on Baltimore, and we all remember when they came into Buffalo 3 years ago for the divisional game. So the defense is going to have a tall task with the Bengals, who, in a crappy division that they in, are still mathematically alive for the playoffs.
Yeah, but let's not jump too far ahead. What do you feel about the battle between Josh Allen and Cam Hayward?
Yeah, so I've done my research and takes and seen videos, and it looks like Cam Hayward kind of made it up, and Josh didn't knee him in the stomach like he said he did. And Josh is just a great trash talker. If you can't stop him, he's going to get under your skin, and if you get Josh fired up, it just makes him play better.
Yeah, you can tell there is major frustration, not only with the fans in Pittsburgh, but maybe with the team as well. I took the day off yesterday just to kind of recover from the weekend-long festivities, not to mention you go from a big turkey dinner into a bunch of other things. And first thing I did at 2 o'clock, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Mark Madden down in Pittsburgh, world-renowned sports talk show host.
Yes, I am.
So I popped on his show at 2 o'clock. Now, he's been anti Tomlin for a long time, so you're not going to get anything like out of the ordinary here. But I wanted to hear his initial reaction, especially with the Cam Hayward situation. He is always hypercritical of players that will hold out, do this, do that. He's not a big fan of the Steelers' defense, so I definitely wanted to hear his reaction and hear the back and forth. Not to mention short after short and reel after reel of Cam Hayward talking about the Allen situation and Allen giving it back. And like you said, yeah, I watched the video, a bunch of times. I don't even know how it's possible for him to knee him in the stomach. Cam Hayward maybe got about a good 50, 60 pounds on Josh Allen. Josh was right there with him, though, not to mention, his offensive line had his back. So if things would have gotten to the point where it was like throwdown mode, TJ Watt runs in, maybe he tears a pec, tears a tricep because he's so wound up tight, maybe needs to find the whatever trainer his brother JJ uses, because TJ Watt gets hurt a lot, very high strung, and he went out of the game for a little bit there. And we were kind of joking around. I never agree with joking around with players getting injured, but when it gets to a point where you reach a certain point, this player is always getting hurt. Even the people around us kind of agreed with that. But I did like that little battle. But yeah, in the end, like, Cam Hayward ends up looking like a bitch in this whole situation.
He does, and it's kind of funny with the whole situation. Both Cam Hayward and Josh Allen are the nominees for Walter Payton Sportsmanship Awards for their team. So to see them, we know Josh talks trash. To see those two kind of get at it, and it just looked like he was crying about it. They lost, and if you want to do something about it, stop them on the field.
Yeah, and one other thing I want to talk about before we fast forward ahead to this Sunday's 1 o'clock game. Used to be 4:25, but now 1 o'clock game against the Cincinnati Bengals was the Aaron Rodgers factor. I make no secret about it. I am a huge fan of Aaron Rodgers. Always enjoyed watching him in Green Bay. I was pretty embarrassed to see him go to the New York Jets. And I'm a big fan of Aaron Rodgers, and seeing him in that state where I don't know what the issue is, if it's Arthur Smith, if it's the play calling, if it's the fact that he only has one weapon, what the deal is. I know they just they grabbed Adam Thielen today, and it's just like I don't like seeing him like this. Obviously, he goes face down. You see the memes all over the place that he looks like the villain from Home Alone, and it's just like I don't know where we go from here. Like,
yeah, well, I don't think Pittsburgh was the fit for him in free agency. I wanted him to go to Minnesota. And you could see that experiment with J.J. McCarthy turned out horrible, and the Vikings are having a terrible year. But having Aaron Rodgers with guys like Aaron Jones, who he used to play with, Justin Jefferson, they have a great offensive mind, and Kevin O'Connell, that's where I thought he would have been great to finish his career out in for 1 year. Pittsburgh, you're just throwing in an older quarterback like you did with Russell Wilson. I mean, Rodgers is better. He's having some success, but he's not that elite player that he used to be that's going to really take you where you need to go in a tough AFC.
Yeah, and he just turned 42. So how much time realistically does he have left? I know he says he wants to play another year, but
does he?
I believe that's the case.
No way.
Yeah. And I've heard Pittsburgh was open to it as well. So, yeah, I know, but
that's crazy.
It's a competitive spirit.
Yeah, I guess.
You know
I guess it is, but that's interesting. I thought he was done for sure after this year.
No, he definitely said he at least has like one more year. So I mean, we'll see like what he does in the off season. If he takes his time and maybe finds a different path. I mean, I haven't really done the research yet because I'm still in the season to see which other free agent quarterbacks are going to be out there. Whatever direction Minnesota decides to go with J.J. McCarthy or whatever they do, there'll be other opportunities out there as well. So we'll see where he decides to go. But I don't like seeing him in that state and seeing him just kind of just looking like an aging veteran that's holding on just for the sake of holding on.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you got to know when to hang him up. Tom Brady kind of defied math and playing elite football into his mid-40s. Peyton Manning struggled right after winning the Super Bowl. He retired. Sometimes you got to know when to go out. I mean, I always, just like you, I'm a fan of Rodgers and like seeing him play. But at the same token, if you're getting beat up and you're not winning games and it's not there, sometimes you got to let it go.
Yeah, and they got a big matchup this weekend against Baltimore. So, I mean, they could figure something out, beat Baltimore on Sunday. We have a whole different conversation. But speaking of Sunday, I know, we got to get on to the next topic at hand.
Yeah, definitely. And with how crazy the NFL's been, I think the Steelers might actually bounce back and beat the Ravens with the crazy year that we've had.
You say crazy, I say stupid. So I guess we have different outlooks.
Crazy stupid. It's crazy stupid. How about that?
I'd stick with stupid.
Okay. Well, 3 years ago, I went to my cameras. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
3 years ago, I went to the AFC divisional game where the Bengals came in here. They were upset that we were buying tickets to the conference championship game because they assumed that was an insult to them, that we didn't take them seriously, which wasn't. We were just, you can buy tickets in advance to a game and just get refunded if your team doesn't go. So there was all that drama. The Bengals owned us. That was the Diggs Allen drama on the sidelines. Fast forward 3 years, Bills are a completely different team. So are the Bengals. They've missed the playoffs recently, but they do have a firepower offense that's coming in Orchard Park. They have a chance to win the division, so it's must win for them. The Bills still need to keep winning to keep path with the Patriots and with all the other AFC wildcard teams. Both teams can run the ball well. They can also not stop the run. So the over-under's at like 51.5. Going to be a high-scoring game. And in Josh Allen's career, he's never beaten Joe Burrow.
Yeah, and speaking of those tickets, like buying those tickets, I think that was just Jordan Poyer's wife preparing ahead of time.
Yeah.
I have never been a fan of the Bengals. Growing up a Bills fan, I am a big fan of Boomer Esiason, not only as a quarterback but as a radio talk show host. And those were my early Bills memories. Like Boomer would beat the Bills. Him and Jim Kelly had that rivalry, and then things kind of cooled down a little bit. Now we got Joe Burrow, probably going to be walking into Highmark Stadium on Sunday with a fur coat, maybe a stupid pair of sunglasses, a stupid looking silly hat. He's a fashionista, whatever that means. Not really a big fan if you watch the series Quarterbacks on Netflix this year. Didn't really make me like him any more than I don't like Joe Burrow. I'm not going to lie about it. I'm sorry. I don't like
Yeah, I mean, I could see him rubbing people the wrong way. I don't mind him, but yeah, it definitely comes off as that.
He's
Joe
a mama's
Cool.
boy, too. He doesn't do his own laundry.
Really? Oh,
I got no patience for that.
You heard it first on More Than Breaking Tables.
I was making scrambled eggs when I was like 11 years old. So when you see somebody like this that's like has his mom there doing his laundry whenever he's however old, like, grow up, dude.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty bad, especially for an NFL quarterback. But, two things, or the Bills talk about Brandon Beane and not providing ample receivers. We talk about that issue the Bills are having at that position. Something the Bengals don't have to worry about. They paid their two guys, whether you want to agree that's how you build a team or not. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are two guys that can be like number one receivers. So the Bills' pass defense, who's actually improved recently, we're one of the top 5 pass defenses in the league. Trey White had a really good game against the Steelers. We still have Hairston. So I think it's going to be a great battle, and I'm interested to see those matchups. They're going to be tested.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. Again, like no matter what the situation, no matter what the circumstance, a game against the Bengals is going to be a challenging football game. So I'm not really sure what to expect. I expect the Bills to get over the hump and get the victory, and let's get to 9 wins, and then let's just kind of go from there. We got the Patriots the week after that. I don't want to go too far ahead, but they got to win on Sunday. Like there's no like negotiation about it. You can't have the Bengals coming in. I don't care if Joe Burrow's back, no matter what, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Icky Woods can come out of retirement. I don't care. They have to win on Sunday, or else it's not a good situation. They have to win on Sunday. They have to do whatever they need to do. If they need to just hold on to the ball for dear life and not give the Bengals the ball at all, just dominate that time of possession, that's what they have to do. I know there's going to be some obnoxious Bengals fans in the house, hopefully not in my section on Sunday. So I'm already, the hair on the back of my neck is already standing up because I'm already annoyed knowing that we have to play the Bengals on Sunday. It's not going to be a relaxing Sunday at all. It's going to be one of those high-strung, it's a lot of tension on Sunday.
Yeah.
Can you tell? Can you tell?
I know. It's a big game atmosphere, and I find it crazy that Burrow's playing and they took us out of the 4:25 time slot. I mean, Bears, Packers are, two great NFC teams this year, whatever. But Burrow and Allen, that's going to be a great game. And I want to beat the Bengals. I want to win out. That's our only chance to stay with the Patriots and win this division, which New England's on a bye this week. They got the Giants yesterday. Big win for the Patriots. And also, they got to play the Bengals with Joe Flacco. We get them with Joe Burrow, which is fine. I don't want any excuses. I want teams at their best. But this whole thing with the Patriots and, they're all the way back. They're going to win the Super Bowl when they've had the easiest schedule in the NFL. I mean, you take it 1 week at a time, but after the Bengals, I'm going to be locked in on that game against the Patriots. Like, I've been looking forward to it all year.
Yeah, that's gonna be a big matchup. One thing that really frustrates me too about Sunday's game, just taking a look on Facebook, talking to a few people. I know a lot of people that are selling their tickets for this game. Now, let me just lay this out for you. I sold my tickets to the Buccaneers game. Woke up that morning in a great deal of pain. Couldn't do it. Couldn't go out. Couldn't sit in the wind. Couldn't sit in the elements. So I ended up selling those tickets. But my Bengals tickets are still on the marketplace. However, I'm going to pull those down. I will be there on Sunday. And I just hope I don't see so much orange when I'm there on Sunday, because that's just going to really just set me off.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're not the fan base to sell tickets to opponents to ever get outnumbered. I mean, we do it.
Hold
on. Go ahead.
Let's stop with I just had a major development in my professional life that makes me a little bit more willing and able to criticize the Bills, which we'll talk about down the road. And a ton of people will be selling their tickets on Sunday. That's why there will be Bengals fans there. You'll have the Canadian contingency from Toronto, from Hamilton. Those obnoxious sons of bitches will come down wearing their Boomer Esiason jersey, maybe a Carson Palmer jersey. And, there's going to be a lot of those folks in the venue. So, let's not give Bills fans that much credit.
Sure.
I'm going to be a little more outspoken about that now that I can be. So let's not act like we're some holier than thou and the greatest fan base in the NFL. We're not.
Okay, well, listen, I'm going to just respectfully say that there's always a mix at NFL games, no matter where you go, but there's a certain degree of it with certain teams. Like, we talk about teams like the Jaguars, who you can come in and an opponent and Jaguars can come in and take over the stadium. No one should be coming into Buffalo and taking over a Bills team that's with Josh Allen. I don't care whether the weather's shitty or not. The majority of the tickets should be Bills fans, and if some people sell them, I get it. But this isn't the drought Bills where we don't want to go watch them play.
How do you feel about this? You go to a Bills-Bengals game and somebody's rocking not a Bengals jersey, stupid, a Miami Dolphins jersey, or maybe an Arizona Cardinals jersey. What do you do with that?
Yeah, I've seen that before, and it always drives me crazy. You just love good football, but why you're supporting your team, they're not playing? I don't get it. I would only do that I wouldn't even do that if I went to a professional basketball game. You just if you're not a fan of either team, just wear something neutral. I don't know. What are you trying to prove? Yeah.
So bottom line, Bills win on Sunday.
Bills win. Yeah, I think we're going to score 30 again. And I think it's going to be a 31-24 kind of game. Just like you said, though, what's important is time of possession. Whether the Bills have home games or road games in the playoffs, if you can run the ball, that's a big advantage in the postseason and the regular season. When James Cook gets 20 carries a game, we're 5-0 this year. So it's important. The offensive line, let's just give a quick shout out to Aaron Cromer and the backups that came in, because they dominated the steel curtain, the vaunted. It's not the same, but TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, that offensive line dominated. And I think that was a huge turning point in how we have kind of an identity going forward, because we've seen the Bills get hot toward the end of the season, and the running game's going to have to play a big role.
Yeah, no matter what, no turnovers on Sunday. That James Cook fumble, that Josh interception, unacceptable. Can't have that against a team like the Bengals.
Absolutely not, because the James Cook fumble led to one Pittsburgh touchdown. if Josh gets careless with the ball or anything like that, Joe Burrow will take advantage. I mean, he's that good of a quarterback. So we better be ready to go. I want the turnovers cut down. I'm excited about the defense. Is Bosa going to play? He got his hamstring hurt. What is going on with Bosa, Pasquale? Give me the 4-1-1.
I would prefer he take a week off. I feel this guy has been like a warrior all season. You know, going into this season, it's like, can he stay healthy? And the guy has played through everything. So as much as it's going to hurt not having him if he were not to play on Sunday, let's think a little bit more ahead. Let's talk about the Patriots game. Maybe let's give him a week off, have him hang out in the hyperbaric chamber, recover, and do whatever he needs to do. Get down to Ilio Paulo's, get some spaghetti, go to Chef's, get some spaghetti parm, whatever, mulberry. I heard they got some good wings. I want to check those out.
Listen, guess where I just went this past weekend?
Where's that?
Mulberry, and I had their hot wings. Wow.
So did you go to the bar and did you sit
No,
down
I sat down. It was a restaurant. I was a sit-down dinner with somebody. And 10 hot wings, top 3 in Buffalo.
You think so?
Yeah.
I've heard good things, yeah.
Oh, so good. So good. It was, you don't expect it from an Italian restaurant, but oh my God. They have different flavors. I guess they have like a Trey White barbecue, which people said they don't really. I'm like, just give me your 10 hot with blue cheese. Let's go to work. And they were delicious. So big shout out to Mulberry.
I'm not gonna name the place. I went out for
No, you have to name it.
I'm not doing it.
Please.
I will tell you exactly where it is and people can figure it out. I went to a very good wing spot in Niagara Falls on Military Road across from the Fashion Outlets. We had a new waitress, and the waitress asked me if I wanted my wings extra saucy and extra crispy, and I was in the middle of a conversation, so I just said yes. So I had them both ways, and the sauce, like having that much sauce, the type of sauce that I chose, was not good. Did not leave me with a good taste in my mouth and did not have the greatest experience. I will go back to this place as soon as I can, but I did not have a good experience with those wings because of just the too much sauce.
Yeah, and I kind of joked about it, but Duff's is one of those places that loads it up with the sauce. I think there's a healthy amount to a good chicken wing. You know, obviously you don't want plain chicken wings with no sauce, but you also don't want it to be drenched where it's messy and everything. So, yeah, I totally agree with that. But yeah, Mulberry's, Bills love to go there for dinner. You know, it's a common spot. They have some jerseys being framed in the bar, but shout out to a great restaurant.
Can I just mention a quick frustration before we get here tonight?
Sure.
So I went to the Bills store last week on Wednesday looking for a new Nike sideline hoodie. I'm a very particular person when it comes to Bills gear. I'm not going to go to some flea market and buy a Bills shirt. I'm not going to buy a shirt when I'm leaving Wegmans. I have very specific tastes when it comes to Bills gear. It's got to be Nike. It's got to be sideline. I like homage as well. So I saw this beautiful blue hoodie with like a stitched Bills helmet on. Guess what? They don't have my size. So I figure they're going to restock for Black Friday. Go back on Saturday. Don't have my size. So I was going to get the secondary Nike sideline hoodie. Guess what? They don't have my size either. So Bills store not prepared for the holiday season. Sorry. Calling it out there.
Yeah, I mean, what are we doing right now? If there's one person that needs to be happy, we're going to kind of talk about happiness real quick because I see your pictures you post when you travel with the Bills. Nobody looks like they're enjoying themselves more than you at a tailgate. I mean, you look so happy. Talk to me about that. Where does that happiness come from?
I had a lot to drink on Sunday, so that would be why. Because I had to drive home, so I drank early, and then I just I took, I kind of weaned off throughout the day. But like,
so you're a happy drunk then. You get in a good mood.
No, not a lot. I have a lot of unresolved issues down below.
Are you going to be arguing with the Bengals fan if things aren't going well?
No, because I'll be with my wife, so I know how to behave under those circumstances.
But if you were with some of the boys, you'd be
letting. It's gonna be a different story. I would definitely have some words, but when I'm with my wife at a game, I learn how to behave myself.
Good. Well, I'm excited for you this week. I might actually end up scalping tickets and going. It's going to be a great game. Thanks for everybody listening as we conclude another episode of More Than Breaking Tables. As always, you can follow me at Connor Kobus on Instagram and Pasquale at Western New York Pasquale on Instagram. Do you have anything you'd like to plug before we jump off the show?
No, we can do that next week. And if you need tickets, let me know. Again, I have a few people that I am close to that are selling tickets. So if you want them, let me know and I will get that taken care of for you.
Perfect. That's why we're the duo, More Than Breaking Tables, bringing it to you live, baby. Go Bills. The run begins today.
Go Bills. And fuck the Bengals.